Hello and welcome to Needing a Meeting on St. Patty's Day, 2024. My name is Carol. I'll be your host today, and I'm not seeing comments come up here. Hello. We turn off YouTube so we don't echo. That's the first order of business. Hello, Ben Bacon Bits. Hello, Tony B. And yes, I'll post a link for you. Hi, Becca Jean. Good to see you. Oh man. Okay, good. Hi, Ms. D. That comment showed up. So I guess we're good to go. Hey, Chris, Lord Kiss Freak. Yay. Hi, Gypsy Daisy. Good to see you. All right, let me post the link here. Anybody else who needs meeting? Here we go. Here it is. Hello, Misha. Okay, yeah, no worries. Hey, Zelda, good to see you. Yay. Hi, Matrix Rabbit. Good to see y'all. So how's everybody doing on St. Patty's? I won't be going out to drink any green beer or anything like that, so it'll just be a quiet day at home until it's not quiet here at the farm. But so far, so good. Anyway, Cow Patty's Day, you say? Well, I guess that's how some people might view it. All right, here we go. Hey, Tony B.
Hello. Can you hear
How are
me
you?
okay?
Yeah, I can.
Good.
How are you doing?
How am I? I am
Yeah.
struggling.
Okay.
I am struggling. I hate menopause.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you there. Can't hear. Not able to hear you, Tony B. You froze. Can you, if you can see me? Anyway, so how's everybody else doing? Yep, no green eggs and ham either, because I have not been eating meat lately. Okay,
Sorry. I'm
that's
headed
okay.
into town from my place, and in my subdivision, there's certain dead spots that knock me out.
Okay. Well, I missed whatever you were saying on how you are. And
I said I
we caught,
hate menopause.
yeah. And whatever you said after that, we did not get.
So it's a struggle, you know. My house is full. We have anywhere from, let's see, we have one, two, three, four, five, six adults and a baby regularly, a 3-year-old every other weekend, 4 dogs, 3 cats, 8 chickens.
Holy.
Yeah. Moly.
And it's a 3-bedroom
Oh
um,
no.
um, home. It's a ranch style home,
Mm,
not very big, you know,
wow.
and it's a struggle. You know, I don't have a lot of time to myself. I don't have a lot of space to myself. This is why I am headed into town right now to take some time to myself. And this person behind me better get off my butt. I don't do tailgaters.
Yeah.
Um, but it has been a really big struggle. My emotions have been all over the board. 1 minute, I'm angry and about to blow up on everybody in my home. The next minute, I am bawling my eyes out. And then I'm feeling fine and laughing about something. And then back to crying again. And then back to being ticked off about something that normally I'm not ticked off about. I don't feel like myself. And it's a struggle. I am getting back into using my tools, which is why I'm going into town, one of my tools. I'm journaling again, which is helping. Last night, my journal, you can always tell in my journals how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Because if I'm angry or I'm upset or I'm just like, I can't hold back whatever is bothering me, my words get about this big from when they're normally about this big. And it can be a little sloppy. It might not be sloppy. You can totally read what I've written, but it's really big and it's like I'm yelling. I'm just like
Yeah.
yelling in my book and I'm just
Yeah.
like, I'm pushing that out, which helps because if I hadn't done that last night, sat down and finished my journaling, I probably would have gone off on my son, my 21-year-old, the father of the baby.
Okay.
But just getting that out and just like, and I mean, I just threw it out there. Like I was ready to throw my son out of the house. It's not that he's a bad kid. He's a good kid for the most part, but he has a
Mhm.
mouth that he doesn't know how to
Ooh.
control and
Ooh.
likes to go off about things that he has no idea about.
Yeah.
And it grates on me right now. Normally I just tune him out. Just like, whatever, Jonathan, go away, leave me alone. I don't care. Right now I care. Right now
Yeah.
I can't deal with it. And it's this struggle that just, and then I get upset with one of my guys because I have a husband and a boyfriend that we live together. And I'll get upset at them for something, like if they're trying to say something to me, I don't hear them. I get mad at them because I thought they were ignoring me, which they weren't ignoring me. They had actually responded. I just didn't hear them. And today, Dustin was standing right behind me at my desk. I was watching YouTube. I was watching replays of AGT, and somebody was singing opera, and it was gorgeous. I mean, my feels were in it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, a text message comes across my phone. I'm getting ready to leave for work. So I go to get up. I turn around to go to get up, and he's right there. And I'm like, whoa. He goes, I said, why didn't you say something? He goes, I did. You didn't hear me. I said something to you 3 or 4 times. You didn't hear me. I said, I am so sorry. I said, I was watching this opera. I said, oh, by the way, I want to go to the opera one day. And he's like, okay. But I said, I didn't hear you. He goes, that's my point. And I end up apologizing. And I feel like I'm either really, really angry, reaming somebody for something, or apologizing because I was in the wrong. I feel like I was in the wrong. I might not have been, but that's how I'm feeling. And it's so hard. It's such a struggle.
Yeah.
And just being able to vent helps.
Right on.
And I am so, so thankful that you guys are here.
Yeah. No worries. I'm glad
I
you're
mean,
here.
even when I'm on YouTube and I say hi in the chat and I don't get responded to, I feel like I'm being ignored. I feel like I'm invisible. It happened to me today on Tommy's channel. I just felt invisible.
Yeah, there's a lot that it can go so fast. People do get missed and looked over.
Yeah.
It's kind
And
of
I know
unavoidable.
yeah. And I know it's not intentional. Like my head knows, okay, he's got how many people in here on a daily? He
Yeah,
can't catch everybody. It's just not possible. But when you're already struggling, you feel invisible.
Zelda Z wants to say, just want to tell you gals that menopause will pass, and it's so awesome when it does. Do you feel like sometimes you have somebody inside of you that's trying to claw their way out?
All the time. I feel like
That's
I feel like the person I am right now is not the person I really am. You know, I am like the most laid back,
mhm.
always smiling, has a good word for everybody, cheerful
Yeah,
person. But
Yeah.
right now, that's not who I am. And that person is going, let me out, let me out, let me out. You're not being true to yourself. But it's like, I hate menopause. And I can't take hormones because when I used to take birth control, it made me angry all the time.
You know
Like,
what
I
though?
almost lost it.
I took birth control and had to quit because I just wasn't feeling right after so many years of it.
Yep.
But I did finally relent and take hormones several years in to postmenopause. And it's a little different ball game. If you get the right person that gets the right things for you, it can be a life and game changer. And I wish I would have been able to
Okay.
get that sooner because,
I, I
I
have,
have go ahead.
go ahead. No, you go
I
ahead.
I just have certain problems that I don't know that I'll be able to overcome because I just went too far past certain physical things that decline after that part of your body. When the baby factory is closing, you know, lots of other things shut down too. It is a matter of dosage. Yeah.
I know I'm young,
Yeah.
but they took my
Well,
ovaries
Tommy,
after my son. So I'm in the early stages of menopause before 40.
Okay. Oh.
So for
And you
me,
know what? That can go on for years.
yeah, the doctors warned me that this could go on for like 20 years for me.
Yeah.
They warned me.
Yeah.
But it feels funny sometimes because the hormones aren't balanced. And I'm
Yeah.
concerned about taking hormones because birth control, not that it didn't work for me, it did what it should have. But with I had polycystic ovarian syndrome, my hormones were already off. So adding hormones, I'm just nervous. So I'm kind of living with it for now. So I don't fully understand what you're going through, but I have my own version that I understand, and that clawing of that person coming out of you, like this is not me. This is not me. I
Yeah.
understand that.
I understand it.
yeah, I mean, 12 years ago, I had an ablation of my uterus because my flow was like really erratic. Like, I'd have my period, it'd last 5 to 7 days. 2 weeks later, I'd have it again. A week later, I'd have it again. And it was really, really bad. So I went to my OB and she gave me the choice of either having it taken or just having the ablation. She says, I don't see a reason to take your uterus. She goes, I think an ablation will work great for you. So I went with that. Haven't had a period since, but 10 years ago, I started having hot
Okay.
flashes. Talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
miserable. Oh my gosh. But the hot flashes are getting better. But now I've got this emotion thing going on. And I'm like, okay, stop, 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 stop. It all needs to stop. But I have an awesome, awesome primary care provider. She's awesome. She was actually my daughter's OB when she had our first grandson, but she's a primary care provider now. So I will go to her and I will talk to her because she was a little bit skeptical about me doing hormones as well because the fact I had such a hard time with using
Mhm.
birth control. But I also know the hormones have changed over the years. The way they dose, the quality of it, and everything else has changed over the years. So I might take your advice, Carol, and talk to
Mhm.
her about it and see, if maybe we can't figure something out because I can't keep going
Um,
like this, or I'm just gonna like flip out.
estrogen is the one that's the most dangerous to take orally. So I have one that absorbs through the skin. It's not quite as dangerous that way. And I take
Okay,
progesterone and DHEA, which is a hormone precursor type thing. Um, and you can get
okay,
DHEA from any health food store or, you know, anywhere where they sell supplements.
I'll
Mhm.
do that.
And,
I'll try the
yeah,
DH. Okay, what is it called again?
DHEA. Yeah.
DHEA. HEA. DHEA. Dhea. Okay, now I'll remember. You know, if you repeat something 3 times, you'll
Okay,
remember
good
it,
to know.
but you have to say
Okay.
it out loud. You have to say it out loud. Like if you need to remember somebody's license plate because of something they've done, if you repeat it out loud 3 times slowly, you will remember it.
Interesting.
So I
Okay.
talked about something else. It's Dhea,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I said it 3 times.
You know, and a lot of people, you know, it's kind of hit and miss. Some people it really helps, you know, and some people may not notice much of a help. But I just found that in addition to, I take progesterone orally, and then I have estrogen that is absorbed through the skin, and the DHEA, and that seems to be what kind of helped things along for me. Yeah.
Works for you. It was the estrogen I always had
Mm-hmm.
issues with.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was the
And the
estrogen
birth control pills.
in the
Yeah. And you're
pills
taking
that
that
I
orally.
had
So
issues.
yeah.
Yeah, that I
Yeah.
had issues with.
So, you know, hopefully the person that you're going to understands that it is a little dangerous to take estrogen orally. You can get into some issues with it. But you know, when I hit menopause, I had suffered with depression my whole life, and it really kicked in my early 20s, to where it was just so debilitating. Like sometimes I would just find myself, just the simplest things being so overwhelming, and I'm like, it should not be this hard. And I fought getting on medication for it, because I watched people go in and out of the local, you know, um uh the only mental hospital, you know, for lack of a better way to say it, with thinking of it. Um, and I would see people go in after having a episode of some kind, and they'd come out and they would just be just just you could tell that they just felt half alive, just because of what all they medicated them with.
Yeah,
And I was so scared of that, you know, and I would have episodes where I would just be so high that I just felt like I could take on the world. It just never would last very long. And so I
yeah,
was scared of what I had, but I would look at the people that would come out of the hospital, and I would think, okay, if push came to shove, I'll keep what I got. It's kind of like the devil, you know. But when I hit
yeah, yeah,
menopause, I did not have a choice but to deal with the depression. And by then
yeah,
I had somebody that I could trust to diagnose and to find the right medication for me, and she did. And so,
yeah,
you know, I'm able to function now because of it. But, you know, yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it
yeah.
was if it was ever debilitating before, it was nothing compared to when menopause showed up.
And that's where I'm at. I've been diagnosed bipolar, depression, anxiety, big long list. I was raised Jehovah's Witness. So at the now Jehovah's Witnesses are okay with you going to see a therapist and
Okay.
stuff, but only certain
Okay.
ones. Um, but I am no longer a Jehovah's Witness.
Okay.
I mean, I'm at a what is this? Okay, I'm thinking the name of the store is called Heart, Body, and
Okay.
Soul, and it's one of my favorite places
Right
to come
on.
to. It's where I find a lot
Right
of
on.
peace, and that's one reason why I'm coming here. Plus, I have to get a book. There's a book they have that I have to have. Um, but when I was growing up, I suffered
Yeah.
from depression as a child. I suffered from
Same.
depression. I've always had bipolar
Okay.
disorder, and there were times I would just like wig out on my family, and they didn't know. But back then, they weren't allowed to send me to see somebody like a
Right.
psychiatrist. It was
Yeah.
forbidden, you know?
I'm glad they're starting to recognize
Um,
that mental health
I
is
mean, they're changing a
important.
lot of things right now because they're in a lot of trouble. you know? Oh my goodness. But I really don't. The only reason I care anything about that religion is because my mom, my brother, my sister-in-law, her family, I have my mom's family, my dad's family, are
Yeah.
all in it. And it makes me sad because they're all brainwashed. I was smart.
Yeah.
I escaped.
How long have you been out now?
But I always knew it was
Roughly.
bunk. I left at the age
Okay.
of 24. And I'm 56. I'll be
Okay.
56 next month. So I've been
Yeah.
out a long time. But when I was diagnosed bipolar, I went to work and I'm going, guess what, everybody? Guess what? I'm bipolar. And one of the girls I work with looks at me and goes, Jeanette, only you would be excited about being
Well, I mean,
bipolar.
you have some
I said, you
answers.
don't
You have
understand.
answers. Yeah.
Yes, I had a name to what was going on inside my head.
Yes.
I had a
Yeah.
name to it. Now, did I stay on my medication all the time?
Mm.
No. Do I now? Yes. I have learned I can't go off it.
Mhm.
It's dangerous for
Yeah.
me to go off it. And especially now that I'm going through menopause, I can't take that chance of not being on my
Yeah.
medication. Knowing you guys are here to help me through this, to give me some suggestions, is the world
Mhm.
for me. I don't really have friends outside of people I talk to through YouTube, through
Yeah.
social media. I
Mhm.
have a couple, but I would call them more like acquaintances. They don't know
Yeah.
me. You guys are willing to learn about me
100%.
and listen to my
It's
rant.
okay.
And
I like
thank
what
you so
Sharon's
much.
saying here, and it's very important. I'm going to make an appointment with the women's clinic versus primary. I got pretty blessed in that my primary went to OBGYN panels to get advice on how to treat me for postmenopause.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
it is important that you go to somebody that is knowledgeable in yeah.
yeah. And she's the type that if she doesn't have the
Yes.
answer, she'll go find the
That's
answer
how
for
mine
you.
is, and it's such a
Um,
blessing.
Now, I don't normally put this out. I normally don't put this out because there's certain stories that shouldn't be told of people we love. But one of my men, and I'll put it that way, one of my men is
Okay.
transgender. And he started seeing her. And if he would go to her with a question about his transition, if she didn't have the answer, she'd go find the answer for him. She is one of the only doctors in town. There's like two or three that
Yeah,
specialize in
yeah.
transgender. And so knowing that she would research for him, I know she'll
Mhm.
research for me. Plus, I know she did the
Okay.
OB/GYN for a while. She was my daughter's
Wow.
OB for her
Wow.
pregnancy. So I
Mhm,
trust her with everything in my heart. And I feel
mhm.
very lucky between you all and having her. I know
Yes,
I
you
can get
can.
through this.
Yeah.
And like Zelda said, it's just a right now, everything's shifting hormonally, and it's a rocky ride. It is a rough and rocky ride, but it doesn't last. It
It
doesn't
is.
last. You do eventually even out.
No, yeah. I just get mad at my mom. It took her, she went through it in like a week.
Wow.
I kid you not.
Wow.
From
Are you
beginning to
sure she
end,
was telling the
1 week. I'm
truth,
like,
or
I
was she
hate you,
just
mom.
saying Okay.
Yeah. She never had hot
Oh, wow.
flashes. Beginning to end, a week, maybe two. That's it.
No.
She was done. I'm like,
It's
not
not
fair.
fair.
Not
that you didn't get
fair.
that too.
But I figure this is my payback for all the stuff I put my mom through, you know, before I was ever diagnosed bipolar. So, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to jump off because I have to go in the
Okay.
store and I have to go to the grocery store and I have to get home and make dinner because I have to take Dustin dinner at work because he didn't get a chance to grab some dinner before he went to work.
Okay. All righty. Well, I hope you feel a little better at least. Hey, Crystal. How are you?
Hello.
What's going on?
Doing better today.
Good.
Who do we have on our lap?
What? Oh,
Leo.
Leo.
that's the one that's named Leo, right?
Yeah. Just
The way I remember is that Leo looks like a lion more than the other one. And then that so Leo.
part of it too. If you used to watch Wonderful World of Disney on Sunday nights,
Yes.
one of the movies that they showed back in the 80s was called Leo, the Richest Cat in the World.
Love that
And
one.
yes, and that's why with having an orange cat, I had to have an orange for Leo because the cat in that one is orange.
Adorable.
Aw.
But yeah, I got some, I'll say good news, but it's also freaking me out yesterday.
Okay.
In essence, my trailer has sold.
Woo.
It's
Wow.
like it's in the works. It's not completely finalized yet.
Okay.
Because I still need to find a place. So that's the big thing. For the sale to go through, I got to be out by May 15th.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you have a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Will the
there-
housing department take that information and put it towards your application essentially? Like put this information there so that they can see?
Kim told me that she would try and get a hold of Janet tomorrow.
Okay.
Because the board meeting isn't until Tuesday. She said if she could let the board or let Janet know that essentially I don't have a place after the 15th of May, maybe it'll bump me up on the list.
Okay.
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah.
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 But I'm kind of just today I've been kind of okay with it. It's just like, okay, pretty much right away I got my prayer team praying and even put it out on my Facebook, like, come on, prayer warriors, here we go. And it just, I think knowing that there's kind of an end in sight,
Okay.
kind of makes it feel a little bit better. I've been doing a bunch of shredding of files and stuff today and just, okay, I've got 2 months to get everything packed and ready to get gone.
Yeah.
Less than 2 months, but
Yeah.
So
Woo.
now it's just hoping that I hear something good on the 26th, and by May 1st I'm moving in, or at least by then know of, like, even if I have to push them off a couple of weeks, but they do know that there's a lot of work that they need to do on the trailer before they can move in.
Okay.
So, and I
guess-
know that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So what Zelda said there, is it still up? Yes. If the committee is aware that you have nowhere past the sale of your trailer, it will move you up the list. It is actually,
Okay.
can't remember if it's a law everywhere, but I do know it's for me in my district and in multiple districts in Manitoba. And you're so close to Manitoba, I don't see how this isn't,
Yeah.
the same type of ruling kind of thing. So
well, the thing is, I know in the hotel industry, even if they say no vacancies, they've always got 5 to 10 rooms that are not booked
Yep.
in case there's
Oh, okay.
emergencies.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
I don't know if that is the same in places like housing authorities or not, that they have to have 1 or 2 places that if an emergency, although usually they just put you up in a hotel around here and
Okay.
you can't do that. So
Okay.
Okay.
I know it'll work out. It's just, yeah.
It's the waiting for
it's always-
answers that sucks.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's always stressful waiting.
Yeah.
And two, it's making my BPD even worse because stress is not a good thing for BPD.
Okay.
It makes the anger and emotions heightened.
Okay.
And
At
so
least you're
I'm
aware of it.
struggling with that. Oh, I'm aware of it.
Yeah, no, but there's lots of people out there who aren't aware of what triggers them. So
Let's put it this way. I got a taste of my old job on Friday because I said I would help the person that was in the claims office get some stuff sent out. And having to deal with one of the other stores that we're sending the stuff to, I got so angry, and I'm like, it's a good thing I'm not in claims anymore. It's like I can't handle that. So, yeah.
Is there techniques or tools that you use to help you in those moments when you can tell that you're being heightened?
Just trying to get on my own. Try and be a little bit more calm, do things that are calming.
Yeah.
This weekend, as per normal, it's been playing a lot of games on my phone. I've actually got some more work done today than I have in a long time.
Okay.
But yeah, it's tough. The kids have not been very helpful either. They've been going crazy and making things mucked up and
Oh no.
they've been running around like crazy kids.
Our dear fur babies tend to pick up on what we're feeling. So
Yeah.
Yes. And in some ways that actually is good because they've been attentive, but they're also feeling the stress as well. And they know something is up.
Yeah.
And I know it's not fair to them either because they're struggling with this move as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Aw.
but Tequila follows me everywhere. Sometimes I have to go to my room and shut the door just so I get my own space. Because
Aw.
she just wants to be with me all the time, and it's just like I know
Aw.
she loves me and all that sort of stuff, but it's just like I still have that same just don't touch me. She's like right there. She's like I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. Like
I don't actually have a bedroom. So I haven't, ever since my hysterectomy, I haven't been able to sleep in a bedroom.
Really? Interesting.
I tried once. I tried a little bit after I started feeling better with my hysterectomy, and I just couldn't do it. And then a couple of years later, I was able to at least sleep on something on the floor in my living room instead of just the couch.
Okay.
And so I thought, well, I'll repaint my room and make it all different, and maybe I'll be able to sleep in there then. And I was able to do that for about 2 months.
Okay.
And so I built myself a day bed and sleep in my living room.
Huh.
I
Interesting.
don't see a problem with that.
Yeah. Whatever you gotta do.
I sleep on my couch all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like sleeping on the couch sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's perfect. It's little. It supports my back, like so I don't have to put all these piles of pillows up behind my back, and it's also comfortable, and I don't have to move. I can just go to sleep wherever I'm sitting. So, and also it's just sometimes a bit of an effort going to my room, but you never know. You might be able to find that if when you move to a different place, you could always try again if you wanted to. But if you're happy with what you're doing, keep it up.
I'm gonna need the bedroom as a storage room.
There you go.
Yeah.
And of course I have my treadmill, so that's
Yeah.
But no, I'm used to sleeping in the bedroom or in the living room, and
So you use
I've
the
made
treadmill?
I was using it until, sorry, cat hair in my nose. I was using it quite a bit until a couple of years ago when I kind of started the whole I'll possibly be moving thing.
Okay.
So, but I do want to get using it again once I get moved.
Right on. Hopefully that'll work out. I hope so, because exercise is really good for,
Yeah.
any type of, depression or anything like that. I don't really have a place where I can feel safe walking because the ground is so uneven on the farm here. I'm afraid of hurting myself, injuring myself. I've had a lot of ankle and knee injuries. So
Do you
yeah.
at least have like the roads that you can walk on? Are the
Yes,
roads okay?
but
Or?
the roads have no shoulder whatsoever.
Oh, okay.
So it can be a little iffy, and there's poison ivy that grows in the ditches, and it's just
All of the dangers.
all
of
the
the
dangers
dangers.
of the country. Yeah. So
If
really,
there's no footpath, there's no point.
in order to get a good
Yeah.
walk in, I usually have to drive into town, and I
Yeah.
won't do it. I won't drive into town just for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Going for a
guess
drive to go for a walk.
Right?
where I grew up, we didn't have the poison ivy, so because we would walk the back roads or
We don't
ride
have
our
that here
bikes or
either.
whatever.
We
So
just got
Yeah.
snakes.
up in I actually grew up in a more northern community in Saskatchewan, and
Okay.
we were actually right at the edge of the forest. So
Ooh.
Very nice.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right on.
but I've moved down to the bold prairie now, so
In
and
a little house.
it's
In a little
it is
house.
it is not quite as bad as what people say that you can see your dog run away for 3 days. There is quite a bit of hills. It's just you don't see it unless you're actually driving and you can really see the hills. So in some areas, yes, they're fairly flat.
Yep.
I've always wanted a little house on the prairie.
Oh, we got John Denver going here in the chat.
Amazing.
Hello to everyone
Amazing.
too. I didn't have time this morning. I was looking for something to put over my jammies.
I like
This is
that.
great.
Jamie.
I love this. I love this. Everybody's singing along. That's fantastic.
I won't start.
There we go. Oh, amazing.
It is a fun karaoke song though, and it gets everyone in the place singing.
Yeah.
I butchered bird there, but hello, Ann Hummingbird. Hello, Monique. Hi, guys. Good to see y'all.
Yeah.
Matrix, like, my fault. Yes, it is. Well, yes, it is. But it was good. It's wonderful.
How are you, Cosmic?
I'm good. Tired. I'm so tired. I've got like suitcases under my eyes. So, but yeah, no, I'm good. I'm going all right. So,
Right on.
yeah, I didn't get to go to the beach yesterday because it was raining.
Oh,
So I don't like driving in the rain. It's always a bit dodgy. All the nut jobs go out and drive in the rain themselves. So I'm just like, I just want to go out and get some skids. And but yeah, so I stayed home. Oh, and my old flatmate Jared and Mia came over on Saturday and hang out for a bit. So that was all
Right
right.
on. Right on.
Although, yeah, I wasn't.
Okay.
He's got into this habit of where he just stays the night. Like I've still got the spare room and stuff, but it'd be and I'm just like,
that's slippery slope right
Be
there.
careful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just. It's always nice to get asked first, but he did because Mia got really upset. She wanted to stay another night. Yeah, and I didn't offer because I don't want her to think. So she's walking around the house like she owns the place, going in my fridge. And I'm just like, one, it's cute, but two, it's like
My space.
Yeah.
you know, you just,
Yeah.
But yeah. So he had a bit of a talk with her and said, "We no longer live here. You have to treat the house with respect." I'm like, "What were you doing before? What were you telling them before?"
Yeah. Well, I hope that you can say no some of the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I
Because
say no
if
all the
he
time.
knows you're going to say yes, it would be real easy for him to weasel his way back in.
Yeah. Well, you know, and it's yeah, he's doing that. Oh, you're never going to get rid of me, and I'm like, that sounds threatening.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I just think he's sad and doesn't have any friends.
Well, it
Well, it
sounds
sounds like he
like
burnt a lot of bridges before you, though.
yeah, sounds like he's not very good at being a friend, so it's hard to have friends if you can't be a friend.
Yeah. So, but it's just I don't know. But it's actually a good lesson for me because it is helping me say no. Because of all the people in the world, he's the easiest for me to say no to because he's freaking annoying. So yeah, and it's helping me learn that no feeling. You know that you know how that I get like a real pain when I say no. It's starting to go when I say no to him. So if I start, hopefully it can translate to other people as well. So,
Right.
In my experience with the putting of the boundaries stuff, because those things didn't exist before. So in like putting of boundaries, there was always like in the beginning, it was the fear that somebody was going to just leave because I placed the boundary. But now that I've said no more than 3 dozen times, I'm like, oh, look, that's so it's getting easier. Okay. And the understanding that all I have to do is say no. I don't have to explain myself.
yeah.
That was something
Yeah,
that I
that was
didn't understand.
Yeah.
I didn't understand. I didn't need to explain myself. I always over-explain, which gives people space to argue my boundaries.
Yes.
Yeah. And also,
Yes.
I've found that when you over-explain, people tend not to believe you because lots of people who are actual proper liars, they do over-explain. They have to, and you see it. Like I've been watching lots of crime shows and all that sort of stuff, true crime. So you can see the over-explanation in those who are actually guilty and they're trying to cover up. But for those who are traumatized, we over-explain because we've had to. So you know, and it takes a lot to get that out of us. Well, I'm still not there yet. I'm such an over-explainer. That's why I talk so much.
Yeah. I call it stage-explaining.
What is it for the rest of us then?
Your name, then explaining.
Miss D brings up a point. Have you talked to your therapist about your interaction with this person?
Oh, mine.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, no. There's been quite a few sessions when it's just been about Jared. But no, he knows. And in the end, everyone sort of has come to terms with, I'm going to do what I want anyway. Even if it is difficult for other people to watch, because I have to do what I can live with.
Sure.
So, and I have to be gentle and everything. I can't be harsh. I've been harsh enough, and now he's not. I was so harsh. He left.
Right on.
Now I can go back to being myself, which is just always kind and gentle. And if I don't want to see you, I just won't answer the door.
Okay.
So.
Right on. That works.
Yeah, exactly, Misha. You get it. Yeah. But yeah, I've got another session today with my counselor, so I'll talk about it today. But in the end, I like being able to say no to somebody. So,
Yeah.
because he was like, "Why don't you take Mia to the beach?" I'm like, "No, I'm not your babysitter." Because he's like, "I need a break." I'm like, "You get her for like weekends. Why do you need a break for?" So,
Yeah.
so I'm just like, "No, I'm not going to the beach."
That's not great.
No.
Well, there's a big difference in the way she acts with him and the way she acts with other people. So with me, she is brilliant, super polite, very well behaved. She'll ask a lot of questions and all that sort of stuff, and then in the end, I'll just go, no more questions, and she'll stop. But with her father, because I think he's got that guilt feeling of not being around for his other son and her as often much as he would like to be, there's that thing where that absent parent thing they do where they give them everything and they spoil them, and she's like, yesterday she hit him, and I'm like, hey, we don't do that in my house, and he just took it. I'm just there going, wow.
Yeah, that's not good.
I'm like, you've got to nip this in the bud, because otherwise you'll end up with a kid who thinks she can put your hands on you, and but in the end, he's going to have to find his own space in his own house and all that sort of stuff. And I can be that on the side periphery person for Mia, which I always wanted to be. So
yeah. Oh, Lordy, I hate that. I hate that. I just even hate the idea that he feels like it's okay to just spend the night just because he wants,
Yeah. Well, they just went into the spare room, and I'm just like, okay, what's happening here?
No. Yeah, he needs to be made uncomfortable as a visitor too, it sounds like.
Yeah, well, I'll just take the spare bed down and be like, oh, there's enough room.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. So there's always ways of getting around it without having to be nasty.
Yeah. If he could be a good house guest, it would be one thing, but he can't contribute in any way. All he can do is take.
Well, that's what I said to him.
Right on.
Because he goes, he doesn't feel like he's got a space anywhere, or and Mia might be acting up because she's so unsettled. Like, things aren't great at her.
Yeah.
She needs to feel safe, and I don't think she has that stability and all that sort of stuff. And that's another reason why I thought, well, I can be stable at least for her, even if she can't live here. But I said, I would have been happy for you guys to stay, but you are literally making me crazy. You're making me question everything I did, everything I said, and I can't live that way.
Yes. Right.
So, and you know what? He's totally changed. His whole demeanor towards me has changed. He doesn't.
Good.
I guess he realized that, I sometimes eventually stick to my word.
Yeah.
So
right on.
Yeah, it takes me a while, but I'll get there.
All right. That's all right.
We're all in the learning process, and that is okay. That is okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but it's so good having just my kid and me and my dog, and the mess I create my own. So,
yeah.
That's all my mess right now. I'm like, yeah, I'll clean that later.
But it's your mess, and that's okay. The versus it's his mess, and all of a sudden you got to go around and clean it up, and then it just makes you angry, right?
Exactly, and I think that's true of anybody else's mess. If you go around cleaning up other people's mess constantly, it's just, I don't know,
exhausting and frustrating.
Yeah. Well, when I worked at Macca's, when I was cleaning up the tables, I just couldn't understand why it was so hard to go from here with a tray to put it in the bin. And people would just put rubbish everywhere. I'm just like, would you act like this at your own house?
Right. Maybe they
in fact, no, would you do this at your mama's house?
Maybe they do.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. Would you do that at your mum's house or your nana's house? So, but they used to
There's
have
also
pickle
then the
races.
people who there's also the people who have never worked in the customer service industry, and they're like, but somebody gets paid for that. Like, I was with somebody who was like, leave the hotel room a mess because they get paid for it. I'm like, are you kidding? No, I that is no. I've dealt with that personally.
When I go stay at a hotel or a motel, I strip the room, make sure it's perfectly clean. So all they have to do when they go in there is a regular cleaning, put the sheets in the whatever, and done. I actually got offered a job at one. She goes, "Do you want to work?" And I'm like, I said, "Oh, it's about it." I said, "It's about a 5-hour drive to get to work. Be a bit difficult." She goes, "We'll give you a place." And I'm like, "Nah, I got to go." But it's just a common courtesy. It's like putting trolleys back. It's like trolley problem. I think Steve put that on his Facebook recently. Like where if you don't take the trolley back, it sort of shows what sort of person you are or the shopping cart to the the wherever you put it. It shows kind of what you're like as a person, because for that small inconvenience for you, it's a huge convenience for the person who actually has to go around to all the different places and pick up all the trolleys, not to have to get your trolley. So it just shows like a general respect towards other people and their positions and all that sort of stuff. And I just think, I'll walk ages to put a trolley away. So
Same.
Same.
Yeah. That I don't believe that I'm entitled to anything. And that is one of the more entitled things. It just shows entitlement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was at Aldi up in Gympie when I lived up there, and because you have to put $1 or $2 into the thing, and you have to put your trolley back. It's like it's a way, and you don't put your trolley back, you don't get your money back or the little token or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Aldi does that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite food stores. They do that.
I was at the end of the car park, not a huge car park, little town, but I was at the end of the car park putting my stuff away, and I was about to take my trolley back. And this lady in a Ford Ranger, I hate those. She goes, "Oh, thank you. You'll take my trolley back too, won't you? You can have the $1." I'm like,
what?
I was speechless.
What?
and she just pushes her trolley onto my trolley. She goes, "Thanks, love." And I'm like, and I was like,
wow.
Do I look like I need the $1? It was so rude. But that's a sense of entitlement. Oh, you'll do it. Yeah. But you know what? I would have offered I would have actually offered. Because that's what I do. Like if I see someone next to me in the car, I'll be like, "I'll take your trolley back too." So I was thinking I'll offer if she finishes before I do. And then I'm like, I was going to offer. Now I don't want to do it.
Angry about it.
Yeah. I was so mad. And you know what? I remember, because I don't have a visual memory, but I remember her face because I was so mad. So I was waiting to see her again and give her my trolley. Here you go, lady. I'm not.
Her face is etched in your brain now. The next time.
Yeah. Mad, angry lady. Yeah. But it was just so crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And they count on people not saying anything, I feel like.
Yep. Yeah. I think
so. It's, I feel like it's my duty and my responsibility to speak up if I get a chance to with people like that.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm not someone who does say things generally, but I'm starting to get to that point. Like my best friend's neighbor, he's not a very nice person. He's harassing them and all that sort of stuff. I think he made my tire punctured because everyone's got their right tire punctured, right front passenger tire, with a sharpened piece of metal. So I have to go get that sorted. But anyway, he was out there muttering away, and he's got cameras on the kids in the backyard and all that sort of stuff. So, has anyone heard of Dennis Leary?
Yes.
That song? His song?
Yeah,
well, I know that word for word. All the words. I can even do a little speech at the end where he's, doing the Patton Oswalt speech. I can do that. So I was there and I was singing that at the neighbour a couple of weekends ago. So he doesn't like me at all anymore.
That's okay. I was gonna say he sounds like he deserves that. So sure, he can just deal with it.
Yeah, I know, but he comes outside
Oh,
every time I go
man.
park my car there now. It's kind of intimidating. What happened?
Well, I was just reading Ann Hummingbird's thing here. My house is still a disaster area. Every room has been a mess since I had my stroke in 2019. People stayed in my home while I was hospitalized for 8 months. They rifled through everything and destroyed my computer. But the worst is I lost my beloved cat.
Mm.
Oh my God, that's horrible. I'm so sorry. Golly,
My
what is
goodness.
wrong with people?
Right?
Mm.
Trolley. Um, I don't understand how people can't just respect other people's belongings. It's like if they haven't paid for it or it's not special to them, they don't care about anything.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
Yeah.
Mean people suck. Yes, they do.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's when it's hard to people.
Yeah.
And then once you're mean people, it's hard to think that people aren't mean. And then just people suck, you know?
Well,
Right.
that's exactly right. I mean, if you're going
Yeah.
around being a nasty person, I guess you kind of think that's what the world is. I don't know. I just don't.
Yeah.
I can't
No,
think that.
either.
Yeah, doesn't register with me.
Doesn't compute. Yeah. It is easy for people to overstep. Yeah, but if they have respect, it's not. If you respect people, it's not easy to overstep. It can be easy to not think and overstep not thinking, but I think that overstepping is just a lack of respect in general. Yeah, that perceived entitlement. Exactly. I had been home for a couple of months. Those two actually had the gall to ask if I would allow them to move back in as they were being evicted.
Oh,
It shows
Yeah.
this lack of self-awareness, which
Yeah.
in the end, I've had to come to terms with in Jared. He has no awareness of what he's doing. So if they don't know, how can they change? That's why you got to tell them.
Yeah.
But I can't understand that sort of like.
I can't either.
I feel like really bad if I've sent like a message that I didn't feel like was particularly friendly enough to my friends, and then I'll call them up and clarify, because you don't get tone and text in messages. No?
True. Mm-hmm.
Context.
That's true.
Tone and context. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way: if you knew me at work as a coworker, you would see a totally different side of me than you do as someone away from work. And
Right
most
on.
most of the people I work with do not like me.
I
Okay.
find that hard to believe. but the thing is, people have a
I
work
do
mask.
too.
The thing is,
Yeah.
because of the role that I was in up until October of 2022, I had to pull the line. I was in a spot of leadership, and people had to do their jobs properly so I could do mine properly. And if they didn't want to do their job properly, I was more than willing to tell them how to do it properly.
Okay. Okay.
So
Hi, Russ.
Hi, Russ. Good to see you. How are you, Ben?
Yeah, not too bad. How you guys doing?
Well,
okay.
It's Sunday. Well, Monday for her. She's the future, but it's Sunday.
yeah.
Well, yeah, that's how Cosmic does. She's got to do that to everybody and kind of spoil the surprise. That's just the way she is. I do have to
That's
ask.
just
Oh, there's
weird.
Russ. I do have to ask though. Are there any donkey updates?
No donkey updates. Thank goodness.
Okay.
No news with the donkey is great news.
That's good.
Yep. Then Jeff's not being an ass. So that's good. That's good. But are there still incarcerated goats?
No,
Oh, yeah.
you know, I still am switching pastures. So the boys
Okay.
are on what is normally the girls' side, which is better. It's fenced better, and
Okay.
I can't keep the dogs with the girls because they're in the area that's not fenced well. But it's heavily wooded, and the girls don't seem
Okay.
to want have that adventurous streak that the boys did.
Okay, well that is good. You don't have
Yeah.
to deal with the neighbors and mountain climbing goats.
Yeah. It's hard to justify having 3 guard dogs, but I really this
So I know
Lucy.
you need to keep Lucy.
Oh,
I should have mentioned this earlier. She's voted on the island, and Steve has no choice.
yeah, yeah. She like she's one. She would even when I had the other puppies, like they'd all be running out and playing with each other and doing what they do out there. And before I would leave the barn, she would come back just to see me. And she'd be the only one. I know. How can I get rid of her? I can't let somebody else have her. I'm sorry.
And to be honest, every time you see her, you can be like, "I love Lucy," and then it's just a callback.
You have been chosen.
Yes.
One's for TK for that job. 2 jobs I applied for get and actually pays more than I make now. That's amazing. Cross your fingers that one of the 2 jobs I applied for I get and actually pays more than I actually make now. Yes. One's for TK'd. Yes. What? What happened?
LKF says, "I have a fan club with 1 number now." Look at Ben's name.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
At first, I thought it was
He's your only fan.
At first, since it's at the bottom of the screen before I toggled you on, I actually thought you were Lord Kiss Freak.
Lord Kiss Freak's only fan.
Oh well.
Everybody up to this Sunday. Oh, your Sunday.
Yeah.
Tell me you have not taken the tube of terror to task, have you? Is that what's going on?
Probably.
Maybe.
No straight face. So.
It's all good. It's fine. No.
Then drink lava again.
I'd actually had the hope that the lava was hotter, but yeah, as you told me, yeah, this stuff is hotter than the lava.
Oh no.
No.
I feel like this is just he just keeps egging you on with the hotter one and the hotter one and the hotter one.
So the
good.
tube of terror, let's just say Matrix Rabbit, if you're ever on the lifeboat, I'm gonna say 2 words, Johnny Scoville.
Yeah.
And if that means anything to you, then you know what the tube of terror is. If you do not know,
night.
Go ahead.
It was funny last night. Tommy was spinning his he was on Reese's channel. He was just kind of spinning it around, and Reese is just like, "Are you spinning around a tube of terror right now?" I love how everybody's on it. Oh.
Where's the canned air?
And the beauty part about being in the official Lord Kiss Freak fan club is the fact now I can blame my self-abuse upon him because he does it. Therefore, I'm just trying to copy him. It's all his fault.
Okay.
Perfect.
Helicopter will have to do a documentary on you.
you.
Filtered one.
Yeah, indeed.
I do not know how Johnny or Tommy does it. I know how Johnny does it. Johnny's abnormal.
Oh man.
Johnny is like the spicy king, though. Like, he can take some of those, like some peppers I would never imagine eating. First off, raw. Second off, in general. So,
Yeah.
And he's taking these things whole in his mouth. Yeah. No, I went out for dinner last night and I ended up going for Thai and I asked for extra spicy. And like, I'm just like, this is perfect. It's really, really good.
Okay.
And
Right
the
on.
person with me was like, how much spice can you handle? I'm like, maybe you should watch some YouTube channels. Open
I am
yourself
not a
up to the
chili head.
YouTube world.
Yes. I was making a curry last night, and we get these little packet things, and so you get to grind up your mixes and stuff.
Yeah.
And there was a chili in there. I forgot there was a chili in there, and I was getting all the stuff out, and then later on, I rubbed my eye. I was like,
Oh, I
Yeah.
hate that.
It
Oh my
wasn't-
god.
it wasn't good. It had cinnamon in it as well, so I don't know if that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ouch.
I feel sorry for your eyeball.
Yeah, so did I. So did I.
Oh, goodness.
All right, night, chicks.
It could happen, but it's all good. It's yeah.
Do you take them out one by one, or you just pour them in?
I do them one by one. Some people, I won't mention any names, but some people can do 3 of them.
Oh,
I can only do 2 at a time.
Well,
Yeah.
I saw one thing, and they said that if you do enough of them, you hallucinate.
Really? That does a good hallucinate or a not good hallucinate?
Maybe
I
it
don't know,
depends on
depends
where
on
your
the
brain
person.
is at that moment.
Yeah, I guess it always depends on the person if they have a good hallucination or bad. The only hallucination I've ever had is when I had double pneumonia, and I had a dream that monkeys were getting me, but it was my sheets.
Oh my. Oh,
But I don't
my.
know if it was a dream or a hallucination because I had a very high temperature. So
Oh,
yeah, it was strange.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And anything that's supposed to make hallucinate doesn't make me hallucinate. I guess I'm just, if I can't see it, if I can't actually touch it, I don't think it's real. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, what do you guys think? You feel like we've had a meeting already, or is there still meeting to be had?
I don't know if Ben's face can get redder. Like, we might just need to wait around to just see for a few more minutes. Sorry, Ben. I'm sorry.
I don't know what possessed me to do that. Oh well.
It was all Chris's fault. It's all Chris's fault. Don't forget.
I'm so glad we established that for legal reasons. Now it's on tape, and yeah.
All of the blame, it all
Yeah,
goes
because
to one person.
everyone always believes everything on the internet.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
it's on the internet, it must be true.
Especially YouTube, right?
Yeah.
I am
Theodore
so glad we
Roosevelt said
agree.
that, I think. That's a
Uh-oh.
quote by Theodore Roosevelt. If it's on the internet, it must be true.
Hey, Kim. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Gonna share-
I was going to, but I was afraid of
gonna
There we
share-
go. This is the actual wall behind me. It's not the sheet, so this is what I'm covering up with my visual background.
Why do you cover? Why have you been covering that up? That's so pretty.
Well, it's
Ooh.
painting of the room that I did when my daughter was 4, and
Oh.
I just would, yeah.
Oh, but it's still
Anyway.
pretty. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
the butterfly. Because I'm a bit
The
partial to
butterfly
things.
is actually a
Butterflies
sticker.
are
That's the one thing that's not
Okay.
painted by me.
Mhm.
But
Right on.
anyway, so in my illness, I have had several very strange hallucinations. And one of them, my favorite one, is that when I was out for dinner at a Chinese food restaurant with my husband, we ordered a variety of meals, as you do. And one of the things we had was lemon chicken. Well, we each took a bite, and I'm like, so honey, how does this taste for you? He's like, oh, this is really good lemon chicken. I, on the other hand, was having the sweetest, richest milk chocolate you've ever had in your entire life.
Oh
It was
my.
wonderful. We had no more chicken that night.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Actually, I have another memory. When I was in a psychotic episode, I thought blood was bad, so I changed everything from blue to red and red to blue. So stop signs were blue. I was on the way to a mental facility at the time, so going to a good spot. But
Yeah.
but it's amazing what your mind can do. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, it is.
And it,
I
it
don't
was-
think I don't count that as a hallucination. It was psychotic. I was psychotic.
Well, that is still a hallucination, but you're right. It was a psychotic episode.
yeah.
Yeah.
The difference between my hallucinations and somebody who's in a psychotic episode is I know that mine are hallucinations. And otherwise, if you're in a psychotic episode, your reality is that hallucination.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was rather amazed having a discussion with some neuroscientists a couple days ago. Actually, they were discussing. I was just listening, to be perfectly honest. But the issue of disassociation came up, and how easy it is for a therapist to unknowingly put you in a state of that, because all they have to do is say, something. An example would be like part of me wants to do this, part of me doesn't. All a therapist has to do is say, that's interesting. Now, the part of you that does, can we talk to that person? I want to talk to the person who wants, part of me wants to skydive, part of me doesn't. Can I talk to the person who wants to skydive? Can we go ahead and discuss this with that person? And innocently, but yeah, it's very easy to get to a dissociate. And that was just something I thought was just amazing about how easy it would be for somebody just to innocently, not anything malicious. But,
The only time I've dissociated was during a sexual assault. And that's happened numerous times. Pardon?
But when I dissociate, it's not another person. I'm not like, there's not someone else in there. I'm just not within myself, if that makes sense.
Right.
So it feels like
That's
I'm not.
exactly right.
Yeah, I'm not in my body. I'm just sort of watching. I'm in the world, but I'm not part of it, type of thing. So there's no one else to speak to. You know what I mean? It's just me. So,
Exactly. Yeah, I was looking down at this poor person saying, I wish I could help. And I couldn't.
Wow.
Well, mine's more of a feeling than a visual. It's like I actually tell my friends all the time, I feel weird. I'm not myself. I'm not in myself, sort of thing. And that's when I forget how to park and all that sort of stuff. And I have to just go home and start again later.
Yeah.
Yeah. That exactly is it. It's like that. No one else checks in. There's no, like, that's why they're actually saying that multiple personalities is probably not a real thing. Instead of it being
it is.
Multiple
Well, for some
personalities
people-
is definitely real.
Yes.
Well, they're just saying it's different. That's not what that used to be, as in each person is separate. There's not different personalities. There's different aspects of your own personality rather than being a complete separate person.
Lynn, what do you think?
I have been in treatment with people that have multiple DID personalities. I am also a partial split. And the one watching her, she had over 50 other people that she knew of inside of her. And they were distinct personalities. Everything about them was different than the other one. I saw her switch from one to another. My personality and one of hers went to the park together, and we played, and we were like little. And when an actual kid came over to start to interact with us and tell us we were using the diggers wrong, we both looked at each other and left. And instantly, as we went to leave, we were our host body self again.
Do you when you're see, I've never got to speak to someone who's like this. I've just watched a lot of documentaries and spoken to certain like my doctors and stuff about it. So do you know what's happening when you are in that other personality?
For myself, there are times when I am co-conscious with her, and there's other times when she has completely taken over.
Wow.
There was times years ago that I would, like back when I used to walk to and from everywhere. The church that I was going to was on the other side of town, and I would leave the church. I didn't know that I had left halfway through service. I would leave, I would walk home, and the only reason why I knew how long I had been at home is because I knew what level I had been on a game on my computer before I went to church, and how far I was in the game when I finally came to. And there was times it was 2 or 3 hours that I was missing and had no clue what had happened.
Is that scary? Because I reckon that would be pretty scary.
It can be, yeah.
DID isn't part of a regular, I shouldn't say regular, your typical mental illness. DID is always and only brought on because of an abuse of some sort, like, and we're talking traumatic event. And it's not something that you can just have happen, which is why I know my hallucinations and I didn't dissociate, like I have a DID, but I did dissociate in a traumatic event.
Yeah.
Right.
It's almost like a protection of the individual, the protection of the host personality.
Yes.
Okay.
What happens in a true DID is every time they're abused, part of their body splits and leaves the room. It physically leaves the room. So that person only holds that instance of trauma. And so each time it happens, another personality comes on. And some of those personalities are bad and some are good. And they can actually turn from bad to good or good to bad. With me, I'm not classified as a true split because I never actually physically left the room. I hovered.
Okay.
It kind of sounds not to
That's
make light of it.
interesting that's how it's differentiated.
Yeah, but it kind of sounds like Harry Potter's Horcruxes, you know, like something happens and then something splits.
I don't know Harry Potter at all.
Me neither.
No, I haven't seen. Well,
you're two people out of the whole world who.
Yeah, but it's like. That's how Voldemort was created, because he did some things and parts of his personality split off in some objects. Look, it sounds ridiculous, but it's how I really have to. Sometimes I have to relate things back to things that I already know. So that sort of sounds similar, but not like that at all. Sort of.
There's also that one Marvel character too. I'll have to find the name. Of course, it's not coming to me right now, but he's got multiple personalities and you end up using the lights on him to try and keep him in his host personality. I think it was the movie Glass that this was in. I just can't remember. I just can't remember the character's name right now, but the same type of explanation was that it was traumatic events that brought this on because he was fairly traumatized as a child, and more personalities developed. I find it extremely interesting how we've put it in literature or forms of art to be
Yeah.
able to explain this to people. Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
speaking out loud because it's the first time I've had an explanation on multiple personality.
Right on.
So
Yeah,
I'm
I reckon it would. I reckon it would feel like that, Misha, a non-playable character.
yeah.
Yeah.
I found it very interesting being in therapy with the ones that had numerous multiples. The one lady that I really got to know through the couple of weeks that we were in treatment together, her dad was actually an anesthetist and would put her to sleep. And while she was, I didn't actually witness it, but just before I met her, she had actually come up from the States to treatment. And just before she came up, she had a baby. And the personality who carried that baby and ended up integrating while she was up here. And I saw her just after, and she was still going through the grieving process of losing that personality.
So integrating would mean losing the personality. I'm sorry.
Each personality is a different age, so when you're integrating them, you're growing them up to become the same age as the host. The founder of the place that I was going to, or one of the founders, she had well over 100 personalities, and she had doctors tell her constantly there is no way she would ever hold down a job. And yet I met her as a therapist at this world-renowned treatment facility for those that had been abused.
Wow.
And so she really understood it. But yeah, it's something, if you've never actually physically seen it, it's hard to understand.
Can you ever like fully mesh all the personalities together?
Yes, they can.
Wow. Okay.
It takes
So
a
does
lot
that mean?
of
Does that
treatment.
mean?
Okay.
But does that mean that you're healed, or that because you still would have all the trauma stuff that you would have gone through, and then doesn't that make it all that one person now that has to deal with it instead of having it shared?
No, because as you're dealing with those traumas, they're losing power. Like even myself, as I process each memory and process some of the harder memories, it changes and it's not as hard to deal with anymore. There's one memory I used to not be able to talk about at all. And through a lot of counseling, it was actually my other personality that would always come out and talk about it. She holds most of the memories, and she is slowly transferring those memories to me so that I'm the one that remembers, and it's not as hard to deal with them and not as painful.
So that would go to the protection aspect, I guess.
Yeah.
That personality is protecting. It's your brain has created this personality to protect you because there's only so much that you can manage at a time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crystal, you told this group how old you were when the abuse started, right?
I think so.
I think he did.
She was a baby when it
I
started.
was a year old.
Yeah.
Come here.
So knowing that age of a person has zero capability of understanding, capability of protecting, anything like that, there needs to be somebody who can protect.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Okay.
Most of the time, my other personality is either around 4 years old or around 10 or 12. Now, I know 12 is when he ended up getting me pregnant, and that one is extremely hard to deal with.
Oh wow.
But yeah, there's times when she's as young as 4. And to be totally honest, she is co-conscious with me right now.
Okay.
That's why I said hi to her. I saw the shift. I saw the shift when she came out.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She just perked up and suddenly became, oh, I know what this is. And that's what I saw happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
Interesting.
Wow.
This is fascinating.
I
Yeah.
appreciate
Like,
the
it must
explanation.
be difficult to live with, I can imagine, but it's really good to get to talk to someone who does, to be honest.
Yeah.
When I found out, when I really when I started going to, it was called Tamara's house, when I was going there and kind of realized what this, like my very first counselor actually got me writing letters back and forth to what she called, she wanted me to write letters back and forth to what she referred to as my inner child. And I actually asked her a number of years later when I was at Tamara's house, I said, did you think I was DID? And she said, at the time, I had no idea. I was just trying to get you to connect somehow to what had happened.
Right.
And the details that my other personality writes in, I can barely read her writing, but the details are details that I could never verbalize until the last, 5 or 6 years. And it's actually gotten so when I start to work on a memory with my counselor, I'm actually the one that's present and talking about it. And she's told me that.
Mm-hmm.
She says, Crystal, it's you in the room and not Lynn, who's my other personality. So.
Okay.
Wow.
So, Crystal, I have a question for you.
Wow.
Many people who have DID will say that their personality is that one age. And if it's anybody of a different age, it's a different personality. And you've said that she changes ages. Why do you think it's not simply a different personality?
I don't know.
Okay.
It actually, maybe it is. I don't know. The only name I've ever been given is Lynn.
Okay.
But there has been times people, like, for the most part, you wouldn't know by me talking, because most of the time we sound the same. There has been times when she will write as a little kid, very simple sentences, very short sentences. And sometimes, yeah, my whole demeanor changes. And people have seen that as well. So.
And are you able to remember from one to the next? Are you aware of what's going on? Can you see it and recall it when it happens?
Not always.
Okay.
Like I literally, in the early days of counseling, I had my first 3 or 4 counselors tell me that I was lucky to come out of it alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's how severe it was. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
You are remarkable.
I think we're lucky
She's a
too.
strong
really
person,
are.
and she has no idea how strong she is. She feels weak so much that she has no idea the strength it takes to feel weak and be able to get through it.
Yeah, truth.
It's like, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like everybody on here, we've all been through terrible, terrible things. And it's when we're weakest and not falling back into our addiction or not falling into our victimhood or not falling onto what, that we're actually super strong because we still feel that weak, but we're doing it.
Yeah.
And for Crystal, I see that all the time.
Yeah. Right on. Yeah.
I feel super honored that I've been able to get to know you and your story and
Yeah.
everything. You're inspiring. That's for sure. That is for sure.
I don't feel like it most of the time,
Yeah.
especially this last while, because I feel like a failure.
You're not. You're not
you're
anything
not.
close to a failure.
Mhm.
Nothing of the sort.
I'm going through and shredding a bunch of files right now, mainly just
Okay.
old receipts and stuff that I
Mhm.
don't need to take with me.
Okay.
And I'm finding that even the way I kept my files has gone downhill. And I sat there looking at that thinking, I gave up a lot longer ago than I ever thought.
Mhm.
Well,
So,
I don't know how you wouldn't to some degree. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I
I'm
would
not
have, I
sure.
feel like I would have given up, before any of that could have even been known. So definitely no reason to be hard on yourself there. I mean, that's understandable. So understandable. And, you know, you don't have an abuser now. So, you get to decide from here on how, what failure looks like to you and what success looks like to you. It doesn't have to be defined by anybody else's standard.
Sure.
Yep. And we also need to keep in mind that we all have this vision of perfection for ourselves. And
Yeah.
perfection is actually not possible.
Yeah.
no,
It's actually not possible. So
I'm perfect.
being
Jokes, don't take my jokes.
in the future,
Yeah, so everybody but Cosmic is.
I agree.
I just wanted to say, Crystal, that you're still here, so you haven't failed. You
Yeah.
only fail when you stop trying. And you're still moving
Yeah.
forward. You're still working on yourself.
Mhm.
Still got your babies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
You just got to
I'm
look at the
sure
positives.
Yeah.
I'm
Sometimes.
sure you
No,
saw when Leo came over, he can sense when I'm.
yes.
Yeah.
But it's hard to see our successes when we're in the midst of something that's causing us such, anxiety and stress, But it's hard to see how far we've come. And because I have to do that to myself too, because I've been so stressed, but I have to look around and I call it counting my blessings. And I'm not particularly religious or anything, but I have so many blessings, My friends give me their birthday flowers because they know that I'm the one who loves flowers. And, and I've got a nice house and my dog, she's really annoying, but she's lovely. There's so many blessings that I have. But it's when I'm going through the midst of one of my moments, it's hard to see any of it.
Yeah. And something that you were saying earlier, Crystal, actually, you were saying how you felt like you got the most done recently or today that you've done in a while.
Yeah.
I have to write myself a list almost of the things that I've accomplished because I don't feel like I've moved that far since November. I don't see a difference because my physical surroundings haven't changed, but that's part of my perfection that I was just talking about. But once I'm able to write myself a list and see all of the things that I've done, break it down. How many times did you call Janet? How many times did you speak to them about when your application was going to go to the board? Every single one of those things is something that you accomplished.
Yeah.
For me, making those phone calls is next to impossible. It is next to impossible. So for me, I have to write down, I did this phone call. I spoke to this person. I left this message so that I understand I actually did something that was not easy for me.
Sure.
That way I can go back and see the progress.
And
It
Crystal,
might help.
Crystal, and knowing that you've done it with help doesn't take anything away from it. It does
At all.
not. Simply
At all.
because you had the wisdom to ask for help. Being weak means you think you have to do it yourself. Being strong means, you know what? I have a friend who can help me with this, and I can get through this with a little help from my friends, to quote a certain music group. You know?
Yeah.
The amount of help that I need to make those phone calls is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And yes, I could take some of that pressure off of myself by actually stop being stubborn and maybe make some bandwidth in my head to learn French. But guess what? I don't have it right now. I don't have it right now. And I need to forgive myself for that. And I need to be able to ask for the help. And that is a strength. Exactly like Kim said. Just being able to ask for help.
That is sometimes the hardest thing to do, is to ask for help.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll say this, Stacia, French is not easy to learn.
No, it is not, but I'm going to have to, so.
Well, that's okay. Lord Kiss Freak was saying "Gamsahamnida" to TKD, and that's Korean for thank you. So, not sure why he was using Korean, but that's okay. So, yeah.
I feel like he's got a few little tidbits of languages under his belt. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I can. The only languages I know are the swear words.
I like what Ms. D is saying here. No matter how you got there, just that you got there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And a fun little saying, I don't know if anybody else has the same problem I do, but the weekends come and I keep festering over everything I need to do. Absolutely everything that I need to do, and I can't chill out. It's all cycling in my brain. I heard this wonderful thing lately. My problems will still be there on Monday. So what I tell myself now every Friday night, every Saturday, every Sunday, every single time my problems come into my head, my problems will still be there Monday. It's been helping because there's literally nothing I can do on the weekend. Literally nothing.
Yeah. Hello, Misha.
Hi,
Mondays
guys.
become a whole bunch of problems.
So,
make a list of them.
I just kind of wanted to come on here for a second and tell Crystal that I really admire you in so many ways. Sometimes whenever I'm struggling, to know that somebody else might be benefiting from knowing what I've went through and how I've gone through it helps. And so I need you to understand that everything you're doing, that you're coming on and you're sharing, is helping me immensely. You are a very strong, beautiful individual, and I am grateful that you came here.
Yeah.
You give me hope.
Yeah.
Your self-sufficiency and your and you're building your daybed might not have seemed like much to you, but to me, oh my God, because you have problem, you fix it. You come up with something on your own and you deal with it. And that's beautiful. I admire that. The DID thing is really hard for me because I've just learned it. There's a lot to it. And, you know, you want to talk about ants and you want to talk about all these different things. There's a lot there. To know that you're able to speak as well as you do and present yourself as well as you do gives me hope. The things that you've gone through, my God, I couldn't imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And you still sit there and you still share. And that is beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
So,
yeah.
It's
I
been
know
a
it's
lot
late.
of
I didn't
work.
want to come on here. Huh? I didn't hear you, Crystal.
Oh, it's been a lot of work. A lot of years of work.
I can only imagine, but not even really begin to imagine.
But whenever you're looking at putting in work for something and not seeing if it's even going to have a possibility of working out, it's a lot scarier than to see that it is possible. if that makes sense. There's a lot of work that we all have to put in so many different areas. And I'm tired of putting in work because there's a lot of work that just goes on and it doesn't have any fruit. To see what you're going through and to see that you're making it and that you're still going, I need you to understand how very much helpful that is for me. So thank you.
So, Crystal, you've become a goal for her.
Mhm.
The amount you've gone through is now a goal for somebody else.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Everybody's story can be the survival guide for somebody else.
That's right.
That's true.
That's exactly right.
That's so
And
true.
that's what we're doing. We are setting forth and embarking on such a journey. And it's not for us so much as a guidebook for others to see that it hurts. The struggle is real. Ripples and ripples and ripples. And we're doing it, joining our ripples together with each other's, which makes an even larger ripple. And it's just a gorgeous, beautiful, wonderful thing. And I thank God for y'all.
Yeah. Right on.
I love this
So I just wanted
meeting.
to pop on and say that. I love this meeting.
I love you, Misha. I love
I
everyone
love
here.
Love you, Michelle.
And
Yeah.
we were so close to stopping this meeting.
I know. That's why I was like, I'm not going to do that, Mish. I'm not. But I had to. I had to tell you, Crystal. I had to. And I thank you, Carol, for letting me.
Yeah, no worries. Glad you're here.
You keep
I'm not-
pushing through too.
I will. I will. It's not even a question. Sometimes I thank God for that, and sometimes I'm like, but I'm going to
I try to be like Dory. Just keep swimming.
keep on swimming.
Yeah.
What is that over
Living
there?
under-
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm as forgetful
Ooh,
as
pretty
Dory,
night.
so it fits.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah. Although I do
but
from
I'm
the
a-
53 Wallaby Way, Sydney. Oh, no, 53.
On my hardest days, I live for my daughter, who never got to breathe a day in her life. So,
Aw,
live for her.
right on. I love that.
Yeah.
Have you shared your tattoo?
I don't know if you can see it very well.
That's beautiful.
It's my
Is that her
my
name?
daughter's name, Chandel, and then the cross for my faith,
Shan-
and the butterfly for my healing journey, with the semicolon for my attempt.
Wow.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Well, I'm glad that you are here. I'm glad you're still. I love that. I love that name, Chandel. That's beautiful.
It means candle or light.
Right on. Oh,
Hmm.
I'm gonna hop off of here, but I
well,
love you guys.
Love
Love
you
you
too,
too, Misha.
Misha.
Love you too.
I'm almost afraid to ask. Have we had a meeting, or are we still going?
I feel
No,
like we've had
I'm
a
glad
meeting.
I'm glad we kept going.
Yeah,
Agreed.
me too. Yeah.
Agreed.
And
And-
Anne, I'm really so happy to see you on the live.
Yes.
Yeah. Chandel
Wow.
equals candle. Yeah. Light.
Yep.
I named my son Kian. Well, it's supposed to be Kian. It's Irish, and it means king, the grace of God.
Okay.
Oh,
My
Nice.
Chandel does not have an E on the end.
Okay. Right on. I want to read this one. Ms. Sunrise Dawn, hello. Good to see you. I've been here the whole time, just being a lurker today, and that's all right. Crystal, I want you to know I think you're amazing, and you're such an inspiration for so many people. Truth.
I haven't been in too many hands. I get to. I'm happy to see anyone in alive these days.
Well, thank you for sharing with us, Anne. And lurking is perfectly acceptable. And but I do appreciate when people do participate in, in the meeting, in the chat, whether it be through the chat or coming on the panel here. Yeah. Good stuff, y'all. Well, what do y'all think?
Okay. Yeah.
Have we had a meeting?
It's nearly 8:30. Yep.
I feel like we've had
What
a
is it?
meeting, and I just want to say, Crystal, it's like peeling back layers of an onion, listening to your story, and just more and more and more inspiring. So I just thank you. I think from everybody, but thank you.
Have you seen the baby heart?
The baby heart.
Yeah,
Oh,
just go.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh my God.
You're learning something today. I'm glad I could contribute. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you hopefully
Love you
tomorrow.
too.
10. So,
Yeah.
Love you.
Have a good day. Love you.
You too.
Love you.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
Maybe make it
Good
Monday.
night.
Have a good day.
And Ben, I
It's
don't
so
know
confusing.
all the names. I know that there's a name for this little cradle thing, but I don't recall what it is. But this is a boom arm,
okay.
and I
That's
have it
all I need.
mounted on a mic stand. My husband has a bunch of mic stands, so I was able to put it on that, and I have a weight on the mic stand to keep it from toppling over.
Sure. Yeah, and that's what I was looking for. It's just I kept trying different names and nothing was popping up. And I'm used to my old days and playing, and I'm used to that kind of mic stand, simple boom arm,
But yeah, this is a boom arm.
Yeah.
What I normally use as a microphone is this little mic. There we go.
So yeah, in my now I got that. But
Yeah.
the problem is you hit the
But it's so nice because I can just put it wherever, and it picks up a lot. Like right now, Ben, you sounded pretty quiet, but and I'm not using that mic right now. Right now, it's just my computer, so I have no idea what I sound like. But that little mic just is very powerful.
All right. Well, hey, you all have yourself a great day.
You
And,
too.
Carol, try to behave.
Yep.
I'll be listening to my police scanner. So I do actually have one somewhere, but I'll have to dig it out just in your case.
Cosmic may have answered the question. I have an arm and the cradle as well. Mine is on my table under my table. So I guess this is called a cradle. That kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, thank you.
Well, if
Yeah,
you're gonna be
that
all
could
like smart and logical and whatever.
Yeah, that gives me more to look up. So I'll try that and see what happens.
Right on.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Good
Good
night.
to see you.
All right, I'm gonna head out too. Good night, everybody. Love you
Night.
all, and thanks
I'm gonna
everybody
go
for
too.
tuning in.
Yeah.
See you.
Yeah.
See you. Good to see you, Kim. Love you, Crystal.
Love you too. Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. I'll help you. Here. We'll do that. Yeah, there we go. Yay, guys. Another great meeting. I love it. So people in this meeting, this community, y'all are amazing. Did you know that? Do you know how amazing you are? Rare, beautiful gems, every one of you. Seriously. And I love each and every one of you. Thank you for being part of this community, for being here. And hope to see you again next meeting. And until then, peace, y'all. I love you.